One more thing I wanted to record today before I give myself a bit of a break is they released an official calendar for Amphoreus now, where it overlaps with real life months. I got told about this. I got told that I should have a look at this. I am doing that because I want to. I want to do that very, very much. So, the Amphoreus calendar. Look how much we've already been through together. Time really flies, doesn't it? Looking back, whether it was those days as heroes or the days wandering the streets of Amphoreus with companions, the trail we've blazed together now shimmers as a river of stars. But there are many worlds waiting for you to trailblaze through. May these precious memories light your path to a brilliant future. Aww. Month of January. Okay, so you're January. It makes sense that she would be the beginning, actually. The idea of the month of January, the month of Gate, being the same thing and representing Treeby, to me is super fitting. Considering it was her revelation that started the Flame Chase journey. It did technically begin with her. I do like that very... Oh! Lily of the Valley, lucky flower of the month. Ooh! They're going for flower meanings. I like that a lot. Because I do know some flowers' meanings, just not all of them, so... I might need to use Google, I won't lie. Ooh, I'm very interested in that. Let's go. Very cute. I'll maybe go through them at the end. Okay, so you're February. Interesting. Month of Balance, February. The King Protea is a flower. Isn't February also the shortest month of this year? Am I mistaken? Let's just... I'm pretty sure that it is the shortest month of the year, which is kind of rude to think about, actually. The fact that they're just being like, yeah, she's tiny. So let's just go back through. So yeah, there's a bunch of meanings for this flower. It's purity and innocence, renewal and hope, love and happiness, protection, and humility. Those are all things that I would say apply to Treebios, I'll be honest. Like, her bringing renewal and hope through the prophecy, happiness and love, she treasured the others deeply. Protection, we saw some of the things that she did for the sake of others. She literally sacrificed incarnations of herself to use the gate. Humility, she was always humble, always. Purity and innocence, the stripping of themselves into young girls makes it so they kind of were that, doesn't it? And then with the second one, I don't know if I've actually ever seen a King Protea. We'll find out in a second. I'm actually going to look at the image of it because I don't know this flower at the top of my head. Oh, it goes by a totally different name. Okay. I've actually heard of its scientific name, which is the funny part, but okay. Let's go meanings. I can already guess what the meanings are. Let's be real. So, it signifies strength and courage in other aspects of life, serves as a reminder to be fearless in pursuing dreams and overcoming obstacles with unwavering determination, and to stand tall in the face of adversity. Yeah, makes sense for her. All of those flower characteristics definitely apply to this woman. The fact that this is the shortest month of the year, though, is super rude. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, March. We knew this, though. So, four-leaf clover, huh? Technically not a flower. Why is hers... But we know the significance of a four-leaf clover. It's lucky. I'm pretty sure clovers also have other meanings tied to them. But the four-leaf one is obviously luck. Then there's protection and spirituality as well. I'm pretty sure that a three-leaf clover is used for representing the Celtic Trinity. And I'm pretty sure the four-leaf clover is actually got different kind of symbolism, with each leaf representing different things. One being faith, one being hope, one being love, and one being luck. Which is why people seek them out. Makes sense for her. It also, considering, you know, her symbolism with the flowers, her quote-unquote flowers always been four-pointed. It makes sense that the plant they'd pick for her also is four-pointed. Oh! Oh, he is April. Huh. That means he's Taurus, doesn't it? That actually makes a lot of sense for symbolism in his design. I actually really like that. I like that as an idea for this man. So, the orchid symbolism. I'm pretty sure I know these, but I'm still gonna make sure. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a ton of symbolisms that can be taken from this flower. I love orchids. They're very pretty. Love and affection being one. Beauty and elegance. Strength and resilience. Purity and innocence. Fertility and abundance. Transformation and growth. Mystery and intrigue. Harmony and balance. Spiritual awakening. Passion and desire. Gratitude and appreciation. Healing and renewal. Wisdom and knowledge. Unity and connection. Eternal life and immortality. Some of these really, really hit on Dan Heng's story. The idea of eternal life and immortality technically falling in line with permanence. Unity and connection, his journey with the Express. Wisdom and knowledge, he has always been a very wise character. Healing and renewal from his past. Gratitude and appreciation, we know how he feels about his journey. Passion and desire, he is more driven than before. Spiritual awakening, through this journey he's definitely endured seemingly that. Harmony and balance, he is a very peaceful character. Mystery and intrigue I think is the loosest one, because I don't think it's necessarily... While his path is one of the more interesting ones because of the missing Aeon responsible for it, I don't think that it applies necessarily to him. He has curiosity, but not to the extent of some other characters we've seen. Transformation and growth definitely applies to this man, though. Fertility, no. But abundance, considering his connection to the earth now, yes. Purity and innocence, kind of, maybe. I'd say those are loose. Strength and resilience, though, absolutely. Elegance, I'd say, applies more than beauty to this man, and affection definitely applies to this man. It's also, I'm curious, because I don't like horoscopes. I think they're kind of stupid, I'll be perfectly honest. But I'm pretty sure, depending on the date that March falls within, these two have, like, one of the best, like, horoscope relationship counters out of any in the entire calendar, which is very funny to me. Even the really subtle material is like, these two may as well be together, and it's like, yeah, I saw that when March and Dan Heng were reaching out for each other when Iron Tomb was killing everything. I saw that earlier as well, but that moment was painful. Okay, May for Hycelins. Okay, I like that. Water lily. Those are very pretty flowers. I love water lilies, man. There's a ton of meanings for that flower as well. Oh, God. Like, they symbolize beauty, symbol of unity, finding peace and balance. They're spiritual flowers as well. The interesting thing is, technically water lilies aren't an official flower of this month. I'm pretty sure that they are actually the official birth flower for July, which, as you can see, is not May. So this kind of proves to me that the flowers are linked to the characters rather than the months themselves, because yes, there are official flowers for each month. But yeah, I can definitely see... Obviously, being a flower that exists on the water, it makes sense why it's connected to Hycelins at all. Symbolizing beauty makes sense for her. Symbol of unity and finding peace and balance. Unity I can definitely see, especially when it comes to Ceredra. Those two definitely found unity and peace and some amount of balance with each other, which is lovely. Also, it kind of adds on to Ceredra being February and that being like the month associated in English calendar, you know, with English traditions, with love because of Valentine's Day, actually adds on to it a bit and makes it quite cute. But yeah, no, I think that a lot of the symbolism here is fair. She found peace with her situation. The month of Everday being June. Okay. To be fair, with how bright Hyacinth is, I'm not surprised at all. And her being a sunflower, yeah, I'm not shocked by that decision. Happiness, optimism. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of meanings behind this flower. So, long life apparently, adoration, admiration, platonic love, loyalty, strong bonds, positivity, strength, nourishing yourself, brightening the mood, good luck and lasting happiness. Yeah, I can link all of those to Hyacinth in a heartbeat. Our boy is July. Oh, he's got forget-me-not. Okay, that's really cute, actually. The fact that he's resembled by that flower actually really hurts me. I won't lie. I won't lie. It's also very funny he's represented by this flower because they are significant to fearful love and remembrance. Apathy does not walk. Fearful love is absolute. He gave his everything for everyone else's wishes. That to me is fearful love. Is it romantic love? No. But does it need to be? No. But the remembrance being one is rough. Also, something quite cute is the story of origin behind the name of the Forget-Me-Not. I'd recommend you guys look at the German folktale that story comes from. It's very cute. But yeah, no. These flowers also represent humility and resilience, which are perfect for this man. So for me, the remembrance part is, in a way, it's represented by him, not the path itself, but the idea that he chose to remember his journey constantly and kept going back. He kept doing it, no matter what. He pushed and pushed and pushed. He would opt to get his memories back and would kill for the sake of trying to create a world where they could somehow flourish again. So yeah, no, as much as the flower is very ironic, it's also kind of perfect for him. Even though I would have expected Cyrene to have that sort of flower, it makes sense for him as well. Okay, Anaxa being August. Interesting. And he gets an endless summer. What? Does it have a different name that I'm not... Have I seen this flower before? I bet I know it by its scientific name, and I don't know this, like, little name it's been given. I'm gonna have to search it, because that's gonna drive me mental. Yeah, it's Hydragas. Why not just call them that? What? Fine. Fine. Alright, fine. No, they're beautiful flowers. I just didn't understand where that name came from. I've never seen them called that, ever. So, let's get the... I don't actually know the meanings of this flower. I just know what they are, and I think they're stunning. So, depending on the context, they have a ton of emotion, like a ton of meanings. Heartfelt emotion, gratitude, apologies, which come from a specific myth in Japan. In European context, they're associated with arrogance and vanity. Ha! I love that. That's accurate. And I don't mean that in a terrible way. I think it's a perfect flower for this man. Because it is a part of what he does. Symbolizing cold and indifference, can represent positive and negative qualities depending on the interpretation. So they have a ton of different meanings based on their colours. So blue being apology, forgiveness and understanding. White being purity, grace and abundance. Pink being heartfelt emotions, love and romance. Purple being deep understanding, elegance, royalty and the desire for a deeper connection. green being renewal, rebirth, prosperity, and good fortune. But yeah, no, I like that the Victorian era were just like, yeah, this is vanity. Yeah, no, that's perfect for this man. That's perfect for this man. Why couldn't they just put Hydreiga and make me not feel confused? But okay. Hey, next to... Oh god, I do not know that flower's name. Oh god. But her being September. Interesting choice. Fair enough. I'm all in on that, but now I've got to search this flower and see if I actually know it. Like, I've obviously heard of the term Asmanthus. It's just I've not seen the flower. Okay, this flower's meaning is perfect for her. They symbolize love, romance, and optimism. And they're used in Chinese weddings and celebrations. Yeah, no, perfect for this woman. Being the quote-unquote demigod / titan of romance. She's always held strong to the flame chase journey. The moment that she took the reins, she led people with confidence. This flower just seems very well attuned for her. I'm curious what... I'm going to look at what this flower actually looks like. Ooh, they're pretty. They actually match her in colour too, white and gold. Let's go. That's really nice, actually. Okay. October for the month of strife and a pomegranate flower. He likes pomegranate juice. We know this. So, yeah, no, this... I'm curious if the meanings will matter, but I do think that the choice is definitely based on his personality, and I think that's a really neat choice. Yeah, no, it does have some spiritual meanings that people have recorded. Let's go. Also, the flower's like a deep red. That's a pretty flower, actually. Which makes sense, just, you know. So... in Greek mythology, pomegranates were associated with the goddess of fertility Demeter, and they also were the food of the dead in the underworld, which makes sense for this man's story. It's perfectly in line with him. There's also Chinese medicine that use them, believing that they strengthen your heart and improve your circulation, which is fair. But there's a bunch of things that they tend to symbolize. So we've got love, fertility, prosperity, purity, because they're associated sometimes with the Virgin Mary, which is, yeah, quite a lot. They associate with temptation, passion, and impermanence of life. They tie back to the idea of impermanence of life through Mighty's story, with him not being able to really die without a very specific wound being inflicted. So, there's also in Greek mythology when Persephone was abducted by Hades and taken to the underworld, she actually ate 6 pomegranate seeds, which bound her to the underworld for 6 months of the year. When she returned to the surface, the earth would bloom and spring would begin. So pomegranate flowers are actually associated with the cycle of life, death, and rebirth because of what happened to Persephone. Yet again, very fitting in a story. I do like that, I like that a lot. Castorus! Month of mourning in November, and she's tied to the snapdragon. I've heard of that flower, I just don't know what it means. The fact that it's got a dragon in its name, considering Pollux, already seems very fitting to me, but yeah. And the colours match her, of course, but it's typically used in wedding bouquets, which is kind of interesting for her. Snapdragons represent strength and resilience because they can grow in many areas. They also have symbolic themes like deviousness and grace. They're sometimes used to guard against falsehoods. They also represent the idea of grace under pressure or internal strength. The meaning of an orange snapdragon is to overcome obstacles with optimism and joy. They can also be friendship and joy, which I'd say is in line with her. Purple snapdragons are spirituality and royalty. The spirituality, definitely, considering her connections to the dead. Royalty, well, I don't see it very much, but that's because of the colour rather than the flower, I believe. Red snapdragons are love, passion, and positive energy, and they can also symbolise deviousness and send a clear message of jealousy. This girl's not jealous, she's too humble to be jealous. Deviousness, I'd say people are devious towards her rather than the other way around. Passion and positive energy I can definitely see, she is very resilient. White snapdragons, purity, innocence, and grace, which is just white. I don't think that that's exclusive to this flower. So white snapdragons were used in the Victorian era to ward off evil spirits. The idea of spiritual connection again seems very fitting for her. Yellow snapdragons symbolize happiness, positivity, and good luck. I'd say that's more so because of the colour than the flower. I'd say there's quite a few meanings in here that do overlap with her, and I think that the visual design, like the visual elements of the flower, are perfectly in line with her because of Pollux. December. Catnip is not a flower, that's a plant, and also, it's just because she's a cat. I'm gonna tell you something that I don't think you're gonna appreciate. The reason cats like catnip is because it stimulates them sexually. Like, that is the reason why cats enjoy catnip so much. So, do I think that this feels very appropriate? Not really, but it is what it is. Pretty sure that catnip has multiple connotations with good luck. Independence, control, because of the animal that they're associated with. I think it's quite funny that they picked catnip, but I don't know if I would have picked that as my choice. For representing someone. It's just because she's a cat. It's just because she's a cat. I appreciate it in a way, but I also judge it a little bit because of what catnip is, why cats like catnip so much. It kind of feels like it undermines, in a way, what she went through and her decisions in the story. I will Google it, actually, because if there's an actual meaning that matches up to this girl beyond it just being catnip and her being a cat, I'd like to see it, but I don't have much faith, I'll be honest. Catnip is a herb that is well known for soothing. Yep, I know about this. They're associated with spiritual consciousness and a higher state of awareness. Okay, this is where it gets interesting, because the idea of the higher state of awareness, she was the only one who knew about the lie. And because of the calming effect they have on cats, quote-unquote calming, it's not calming. That's not what is happening to your cat. I'm sorry. These flowers are believed to connect them. So the calming effect means that they help with releasing negative energy. I think that her being able to create a peaceful illusion of the world through her lie definitely applies to that. I don't think that these meanings are wrong. It's just... Do I think that there was probably another flower that had that meaning that they could have picked? Yes. Did they pick this one because it's catnip? Yes. Yes, they did. So, to put into perspective, catnip contains an essential oil that affects the cat's behaviour by mimicking feline pheromones, triggering a euphoric response in their brains. So it stimulates them. Sexually. It feels a little weird to use that sort of plant to... represent a character, but okay. It's just because she's a cat. It is just because she's a cat. Oh well. I like this. I think that the flower meanings are very cool. I think that this is very funny. I'm just going to tally the days because I'm confident that they gave Cyrene the shortest month of the year, which is really rude if true. 31, 30, 31, 30, 31... 31, 30, 31, 30, 31, 28. Yeah, she is the only one with a number beneath 30. She is the shortest month of the year. That is rude. They even subtly take a jab at her height even now. Rude. Very rude. But I kind of appreciate it. Anyway, hopefully you guys had fun with this. Hopefully I really like it. I think that the flower meanings add a lot in. I like the direct one-to-one comparisons. It's also... Dan Heng's actually does quite a lot because we get proof in the game that his birthday is celebrated by his... I'm pretty sure it's his trailer as Dan Heng Permansa Terrai, where we see a photo of both the Trailblazer and March around him with a cake, meaning they celebrated his birthday, but in the game... we don't know his date of birth. While here, he's representing April, meaning he could be born in April. Though, the question I have is, does his birth technically matter that much? Because it'd just be the moment he hatched from his egg, wouldn't it? Or is it every single time that he goes through hatching rebirth, is he bound to hatch on the same day, or does it change? I'd kind of hope it stays the same, just because it'd be more consistent, but there's no reason it would have to, because there's no guarantee how long the rebirth cycles actually last of Vidyadhara. It seems to vary. But him being April is very... I like it, it's cute. I'm not gonna go through... Like, I don't like horoscopes, I think they're dumb as hell, but the only thing I find very funny is that these two synergize so well with theirs. Though that was obvious anyway, man. That was super obvious anyway. We appreciate March and Dan Heng. Tell me that they don't suit each other. I question if you've been watching the game properly, but okay. Take care, guys. Hopefully you had fun with this. Have a good night, morning, day, whatever time it is, wherever you guys are in the world. And take care of yourselves. Bye.